What's going on, folks? Michael back with another awesome episode at Oregon Adventure. In today's video, we're talking about my Typhon Grom. This is a fully blinged out basher Grom, and I'm going to be showing you guys everything I've done to it, showing you some video of it on the track and whatnot. Yeah, just kind of giving you guys my opinion, kind of areas I'm going towards, maybe areas I've already been through that I'm not going to be doing anymore or whatever. But just want to say that this car is super awesome, highly impressive. Way more impressed with it than I thought I was going to be originally. And I guess the two things that are really impressing me is the way this thing handles. It's so small, but it feels like a bigger car, which is really cool. And all the power it has. It just has gobs of power. And we're going to show you guys what I've done to it to make it that way. This is an awesome platform. It's really budget oriented if you just run it stock. Obviously, I'm not running it stock, and we're going to go over everything I've done to it here in a minute. I would imagine even in a stock form, I did run it with the stock suspension and everything, and it was fine, and with the stock wheels or whatever. I've pretty much roasted out the stock tires on this thing, and I've gotten some more, and as you can see, I have the Proline Badlands on here right now, so we'll go over some of the other tires I have and other tires I'll be testing. So yeah, guys, let's jump into it. This car reminds me so much. Every time I drive it, every time I get it out, work on it, and do whatever, it reminds me of the Losi Mini 8. Now, you guys are going to have to go back quite a few years to remember this car. Losi released a Mini 8, is what they called it. Now, I know they have the Mini B, they have the Micro B, and those are two-wheel drive platforms that are smaller based off their larger tent scale buggies. But what they did, when was this? Let's say early 2000s, I want to say, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago or so, roughly in that ballpark. They released a mini version of the Losi 8, which was a scaled-down 8-scale buggy, and that thing was a beast. I had that thing all hopped up. I mean, I would constantly showing that thing off. It was like my baby Street Fighter. That's kind of what I called it. But I put slick tires on it like these, and it was four-wheel drive, and it was based off that 8-scale buggy platform. And it was amazing. This car is like that, but maybe a little bit better. This car might be a little stronger, maybe a little bit more durable. And I honestly think that this car's faster. I mean, this car's pulling the front end up at like 30, 40 miles an hour. It's insane. Yeah, I just wanted to get that out there and say that this reminds me a lot of that. This is basically a scaled down 8-scale buggy. And I know it's not built on the aluminum chassis like the Mini 8 was, but this is built on their budget chassis, that they had the 223s or whatever, the Typhons or whatever. And this is kind of like a scaled down version of that car. Scaled down 8-scale buggy platforms are amazing little street fighters, little bashers or whatever. So quite impressed. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are noticing right out of the gate that I have the Proline body and the Proline MX Badland wheels. And I would say that these wheels are a great upgrade. The car handles better on road with these. The car's more stable. There's more traction. And with the 3S power system, this car will do standing backflips with these tires on it. So that's kind of cool. I was really impressed with seeing that. I'm astonished, actually. But speaking of running on the street, I did clock this yesterday. Now, I'm not going for, crazy speed runs with this thing. I just wanted it to bash and bling out and that kind of thing. But yesterday at the flying field, because we have a long, paved area, I just tie strapped my speedometer on the back here with these tires and the power system that we'll look at in a minute. I got 53 miles an hour, and that's with the stock gearing. I never changed the gearing in the car. So 53 miles an hour for a little tiny, I guess 14 scale, whatever, is awesome. It's right there at being almost too much. So yeah, and I can even put a 4-cell in this car, which would be just absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, it's crazy performance on this car, crazy durability. There is a couple weak points, which we'll get to here shortly. But I figured I'd make this video. I'm still waiting on a couple more parts, you guys. But I figured I'd get this video out and let you guys know where I'm at with this thing. Let's pop the hood here, and I'll show you guys what I got going on in here. It's a little bit dirty from the track yesterday. I actually took it on a track yesterday, and that's the thing. Like this thing will get around the track, the smaller track where I run, just about as good as my tent scale 2-wheel drive buggies will get around the track, and that's pretty awesome. Even that being said, like this car has more forward bite than a 2-wheel drive buggy would have on the track. And I'm not running good tires. I mean, these are bash tires. They're not track tires. So as you guys can see here, I have the Castle system put in here. This is the Micro X2, I believe. And this is a full kit I bought. I bought the motor and the speed control combo together. The beauty about this is you don't have to mess with pinions. You can just run the stock pinion on this. And this is a 4400 kV. which is going to be a little bit slower than the stock motor, but this is a 4-pole brushless motor, crazy power system, fully programmable speed control. Like I said, at the stock gearing with this slower motor, I got 53 miles an hour. So I don't know what these cars are getting stock on 3S or with these tires. And these tires could have helped geared up a little bit because these might be a little bit taller than the stock tires. So there's that. And then they balloon a little bit too when it gets going. So I could understand how it could get the 53, with the little bit slower motor. That being said, this motor is like, there's no like spool up. It's all instantaneous power. So if you just gun it, like I said, it'll either do a backflip, or if you have the stock tires on, it'll just spin the tires, and it's all instantaneous. There's no lag, there's no build up, there's no ramp up. Like on my larger 8-scale buggy, if you're doing some speed runs, you can hear it like starting to spool up or wind up, because it's not all instantaneous there. This motor's so big and overpowered. I mean, it's literally shoehorned in there. If you guys are interested in putting this motor, this is the 1010 size motor. I know they make some other motors. They make a 1007, maybe a 1008, I believe, where you wouldn't have to cut anything on the chassis. So that being said, with this 1010 motor, you are going to have to trim the chassis a little bit down below there. And then there's a center screw here on the center brace that you're going to have to eliminate. You're going to have to file, sand, Dremel that section out so the motor can actually clear and get down in there. But like I said, I'm sure the stock power system is fine. I just wanted to go a little, like a little overboard on this little car just to see, what I could do. And for the record, I never ran the stock power system. I have that for sale right now. Everything, the radio, servo, everything. So I don't really have a comparison, but I can say that this car, with the stock gearing, with this motor, with these tires, will go over 50 miles an hour. No problem. So if you guys are worried about going lower in the KB and sacrificing some of that speed, it's going to be negligible. I have a 3-cell battery in here too. It's a 1500 Z battery. I have a couple of these batteries that I've been running in here. It's a little tall, so it pushes the speed control up a little bit, but it's no big deal. Everything clears fine. The body clears fine. And I also have a 2-cell 2200 I've been running in here. I run that on the track. It's a little more manageable with the 2-cell. But yeah, the 3-cell is awesome for street bashing, going to the skate park. I took this to the skate park once. It didn't last that long. 2 or 3 jumps, and I smacked down pretty hard landing, and it broke a dog bone. A couple days later, just running on the street, I broke another dog bone. So I've been doing some reading on that, and I have read that the dog bones will snap running 3S. It's just part of the game with this thing. Some people are heating them up and pushing the pins out and trying to repair them themselves. I haven't really gone that route yet. There is a brand, Viviton, I think it's called. They sell the complete axle set for this, upgraded hardened steel and everything, but it's $80. And I just can't bite that right now. So I don't know. I might buy just a couple more sets of dog bones just to hold me over. And then maybe eventually, maybe this summer, I'll go ahead and bite the bullet and get those. But I heard they're pretty much bulletproof, and you're never going to have to worry about the dog bone snapping again once you get those. I think they're all CVDs on all 4 corners. So as some of you guys know, I run the Radio Link transmitter with their receivers. I've never had any issues with the Radio Link. It's very budget friendly. And again, we'll put all those links down in the description below if you guys are interested. The receivers, I think, cost $15. They come with a gyro. So of course, I have a gyro in here. I have the gyro setting on the controller, and I run all my cars in there, my crawlers and stuff. So I just like to keep everything on the same controller. I'm able to adjust the expo on the steering. I had to put quite a bit of expo in this thing because it was a little twitchy at higher speeds. I think I'm running like 37, 40% expo on the steering on this thing. And then I got a little bit of expo on the throttle to just, the ramp up. Now this is brushless, this brushless system is sensored, so it's super smooth. But yeah, I just like to run a little throttle curve to make the ramp up a little bit smoother. On top of that, I have the Castle programming dongle or whatever coming. So when you buy this system, they give you a free coupon. Waiting for that in the mail. It should be here any day now. I do have the Bluetooth module for this, but it's buried in this rock crawler right here, and I do not want to tear it out to do the programming and then put it back in there. So I'm just going to wait till I get my free programming dongle, plug it into the computer, do the programming. I'm going to up the voltage in the BEC, maybe play around with the punch and that kind of thing. And they have a throttle curve option in the programming too for the Castle, so I might put a little throttle curve in there. I like throttle curves on RC cars. Like I said, it just makes the ramp up smoother, a little bit more delicate, smoother feeling overall, that kind of thing. So yeah, I got the Radio Link gyro. Now the servo, oh man, that's been like my main headache with this car is the servo. Okay, so like I said, I never ran the stock servo, pulled that out. I ordered, because I wanted to bling it all out. I ordered this torque servo here. Heli Direct sells this servo as a direct drop-in for the Grom. But where I messed up is I got this off Amazon, and this is the Grom Servo, okay? But it didn't come with the metal servo horn. I don't know, for some reason when I was ordering, I thought it came with the metal servo horn. So I was like, I got it, no metal servo horn. I was like, oh, whatever. So it comes with a couple plastic ones. Well, I've ordered the GPM Servo Saver, the aluminum one, which I haven't gotten yet, and I'm still waiting on that. And so hopefully that's going to solve my dilemma. Okay, so I put the servo in, and the torque servo, it lasted maybe 2 or 3 runs. I put a plastic, servo horn on there, no servo saver. It lasted 2 or 3 runs. It didn't break mechanically. It broke electronically. I don't know what it was, but if you would put any pressure on it, it would just start jittering and going crazy and everything. So Amazon, easy return, did a return. They sent me a new one, and I've been running this new one back and forth, but I keep breaking the servo arms. Excuse me. The thing about this servo is the horn on here, man, or the splines, the teeth, they're just something that's weird. I don't know what it is. I have a bunch of servo horns from mini, micro, all standard, everything. I cannot find one servo horn in my collection that fits this shaft here. And they say it's a 25 tooth uh, horn or whatever. It's not a typical 20. If it is, I'm not sitting there and counting all these, but if it is 25 tooth, it's non-typical compared to like what you would find 25 tooth on a standard size servo. Now, the GPM Servo Saver is listed as a 25 tooth servo saver. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that servo saver is going to fit this, and then I can put this in. It should eliminate all my problems. But yeah, I just not having good luck with this high dollar servo because of my servo horn applications. And like I said, the first one just went out. So what's funny is in the meantime, I'm running this cheap servo. So I fly a lot of RCs, and I sell RC parts on the side. And one of my things that I sell on the side is servos. So I sell 2 metal geared servos for 2 for $10. I sell those at swap meets or at the flying field sometimes. People grab them up like candy because it's a great deal. And so I have a lot of those servos on hand, and I threw one of those in. Okay, guys, we're talking super duper cheap metal geared servo, and that thing is just kicking butt. This servo, I've had no problems with it most of the running I've been doing, and I'm running it straight. Now I have broken 1 or 2 servo horns on this servo, but this cheap servo has never given me a problem, and I have a ton of servo horns for it. I'm down to 1 more servo horn on this torque servo. So yeah, I guess I'm just kind of waiting out for that GPM servo saver. So yeah, there you have it. So I have a hot racing receiver plate, I guess you could call it, ESC plate. And this is a great product, you guys. I'm going to link this down below in the description because it has 3 adjustable holes on the mounting points. So you can move the servo back and forth to get that optimal geometry right here for steering, which is great for this car because there's different servos, different servo savers, and all that good stuff. So you got perfect adjustability to get that to where you want it. So highly recommend that if you guys are upgrading your system and whatnot. So going on to the suspension that you guys can see here, all the aluminum bits. This is all GPM. I think I ordered every single GPM part that they make for this. And like I said, I'm waiting on my servo saver and I'm waiting on the front shock tower brace. But other than that, I got everything else. And I even got the motor mount. So for some reason, I didn't put the motor mount in. I don't know. I just should stop reading stuff online because there's people that are saying, oh, it doesn't work or blah, blah, blah. And then another guy's like, just learn how to set your gear mesh. I don't know. So I'm going to put this in eventually. Maybe when I get the other parts for it or whatnot. But anyways, what I have so far is I have all the arms and I have all the hub carriers on all 4 corners, and it's all in silver. I also have the diff covers front and rear, and it just makes the car look amazing. It stiffens the car up too. Now that being said, these aluminum A-arms could be contributing to me breaking these plastic servo horns, and it could have contributed to that too. And so on the first run with this thing, I had a crazy crash. The thing was cartwheeling down the street probably for 30 feet, just cartwheeling. And then it bounced up into the neighbor's yard and kind of went down their staircase a little bit, but it slammed up against the stair railing. And when that happened, it busted this wheel out and it broke a servo horn. And that happened in one crash. Now, maybe if I would have had plastic, A-arms, maybe this wouldn't have happened. But at the same time, guys, these are super duper cheap tires. These are $10 a set on Amazon. I'm going to post these links down. And I hadn't really even got them broken in yet or scuffed in, and they were okay feeling. So I was like, man, I really want to try these tires out. So I just went and bought another set. So now I have 3 extra ones in case I break them. But you guys, these are nice little slick tires. I don't know anything about the compound or the brand or anything. Yeah, they might be a little weak if you crash at 30 miles an hour into a post with aluminum A-arms, but so I'm going to really get into these and give these a shot. I still got to glue these. You got to glue them if you get them. I mean, $10. So you're going to have to glue them, and you'll have slicks for on-road bashing because, you know, as you guys can see, it just eats through the tires. And I've done a couple runs on the street with these Proline tires, and I won't be any more because you can just already see the wear on the tires, the way they're cupping over or whatever. So this thing will eat the tires up if you're on 3-cell. So get yourself some cheap road slicks so you can road bash, and you don't have to worry about screwing up your dirt tires, your good dirt tires there. So yeah, all the GPM stuff, it's awesome. I haven't had any issues with any of it, and I've had tons of crashes and just all kinds of stuff. So it's holding up very well. So there you go. And like I said, I got the motor mount to put in, and we got the other stuff coming. I do have a set of the Proline MT Badland tires, and I've seen a lot of you guys running these tires on the Typhon. I'm kind of hesitant about putting these on the car, especially on the road, because of the dog bone issue. I mean, if it's snapping dog bones on these little tires, this is going to eat dog bones. So there's that. I don't know. And then it kind of makes it look funky. Doesn't make it really look like a buggy. So I'm not too sure if I'm going to be running these or not, or maybe just get more of these after these wear out, or just keep these on the track, try not to wear them out, and really try to focus on these. I think I about covered it all. Oh, I did. If you guys seen the unboxing of this car, I was complaining about how the suspension felt. The suspension felt horrible, and it's because the shocks weren't filled all the way. Once I filled the shocks up, the suspension on this car is amazing. This table kind of bounces, cheap table, but if you drop this on solid ground, it just really feels good. The car really tuned itself up handling wise after I filled the shocks up. One thing I want to note with this GPM, you guys, if you guys get these A-arms and this front diff cover, there is a little bit of a clearance issue right here where the diff cover gets onto this arm right here. And I had to do a little bit of filing on one of the arms to get the suspension to move freely. So if you guys bolt this up without any shocks and it's kind of stiff, you're going to want to look right in there and maybe do a little bit of filing. There's a little bit of clearance issues. But yeah, the GPM products, the machining's okay. It's really small parts. But what I like about it is it's 70-75. It's a light platform, so these should hold up. And if they don't, like I said, I got all the stock parts I can put back on it or whatever. But it's been a fun little project. Yeah, it's a fun little thing. I got the GPM steering linkage up here too, you guys. So I also tried these out, you guys. These are like no-name skid plates because, you know, I heard that people were ripping some of these screws out in the front or whatever, but these skid plates didn't do good at all. In fact, this back one, this might be for a different model Grom because this was kind of tilted up here and it just wouldn't mount on the chassis underneath here. So what I did is I just flattened it out to cover this hump. And I thought, you know, dirt's going to find its way in there and pry it up. And it sure did. First couple runs on the track, started getting dirt underneath there. And I was like, eh. And then this front thing bent all to hell. And I think was just putting more pressure on the front end overall because it got bent like this. So these skid plates are junk. I wouldn't even waste your time on them. I have seen people putting the granite bumpers on this Typhoon, which is maybe something I'll do instead to kind of help protect. I just want a little bit better protection here on the front and the back. If we can get some skid plates or something, I don't know. But this is an awesome car, you guys. I highly recommend getting this car. This would make a great first RC car. And like I said before, don't waste your time going with the brush version. They should probably just discontinue that because you're getting so much more when you jump up to the BXL version. You know, obviously besides getting the brushless system, you're getting the upgraded diffs, you're getting the upgraded shocks, you're getting the upgraded hexes, and I think you're getting upgraded outdrives and maybe upgraded CVDs up front, I believe. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, post them down in the comment section below. I'm just going to be running this car street bashing, probably going to build a jump here in the future. We've been talking about that with the kids here so we can break the cars even more. But yeah, I'm just going to be having fun with this thing and running at the track next to my large Typhon, my 8 scale. It's funny going back with these things. I feel sometimes that, so the first couple times I ran this, you know, ran it 3 or 4 packs or whatever, and then I switched over to my Typhon, my 8 scale, my TLR, was running that in the street, and I was like, man, something's off. Like it feels slow, and it's because this is faster, you know, than my TLR. Just the way they're set up right now. I mean, this car is going over 50 miles an hour. I have my TLR tuned right now to go like 45-ish, you know, but it's set up for the track right now. I've been running a lot on the track with that thing, and it's a blast. But going back and forth between the two, this thing just feels like instantaneous, like agile and like choo, 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 versus like something that's like a horse, you know. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you guys have both, you guys kind of know what I'm talking about. My TLR Typhon is just kicking butt on the track. I've got new Proline tires for it, which just huge difference. And yeah, a lot of fun. So yeah, I'll put some video up. You guys can see this thing run and that kind of thing. So until next time, folks,